What's up? It's Andy. It's Thursday night, and I'm in the mood to take on the house. It's got that kind of vibe tonight, and that's what I'm going to do over at No House Advantage. On a Thursday night, we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Packers. I did the video yesterday for the Pick'em contest, but today we're looking for 5 player props that are going to hit so we can net up to 20 times our cash. That's how No House Advantage works. It's fantasy and player props. It shows you a prop on a player. You choose over and under. And for this particular contest versus the house, we get 5 of those right. We make up to 20 times our cash. It's a pretty nice thing. So if you're a good sniffer, you could sniff out a couple props. You get 5 of them. Put 20 bucks. That's 100 right there. And if you go over to No House Advantage using the link in the description of this video, they're actually going to match your first deposit up to $50. So you put in 50, you get 50. It's a beautiful thing. And let's get on to these Thursday night picks. So the first one I'm going to go with is Aaron Rodgers. I think they set his passing yardage a little too high. We have 2 teams who are going to be running the ball back and forth. I don't look at this as a game where Rodgers is going to have to throw it all over the field. We've already seen their reluctancy as a team to throw the ball when these games are close. We've seen that multiple weeks in a row, and I look for that to continue. This is a game they're favored by 3. It's projected to be a pretty close game, and in a game like that, I expect to see a lot of running from Aaron Rodgers. So give me the under on Aaron Rodgers passing yards. And although I don't see Aaron Rodgers throwing for a ton of yards in this game for those aforementioned reasons, I am going to take the over on Lazard. If this was receptions, I would probably take the under. Yesterday, I took the under 4.5 receptions for Lazard because he always seems to bust through for 1 or 2 big plays throughout the course of a game. And that's all because he's such a great run blocker and they run so much. And all of a sudden, he fakes like he's going to be run blocking and then peels off and he hits like a 30-yard gain. So with the total that they have him listed at, despite me thinking that Aaron Rodgers ain't going to throw it all over the field, I do believe Lazard's going to be able to hit the over on that receiving prop. So give me the over on Lazard. Then I'm going to go over to the other side of the ball. And I'm going to start with some of the receivers here, or pass catchers at least. Robert Woods, he's their number 1 receiver. You know, he's usually the most targeted receiver on the field. I know we got Treylon Burks back, but in a game, I project the Packers to win this one, and I do believe at some point they're going to have to throw, and they really don't have anyone reliable. I mean, it's such a random cast of characters, but Woods is obviously the most trusted amongst the bunch, and they have his total in the 30s, very low. So really, you're just looking at 2 or 3 catches to get there. I'm going to take the over on Robert Woods, but I am going to take the under on Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper has never had more than 3 targets one time until last game. But yes, last game, he had a good amount of targets. Do I look for that to continue? No, because they were down multiple scores, I believe, to Denver, and they had to play catch up. Derrick Henry wasn't effective in that game, so they were forced to throw the ball. So in situations like that, yeah, sure. But do I see them down 2 touchdowns in this game? You know what? Actually, I do think there might be a slight chance. But even with that, between Burks coming back and then Akine and Woods, Hooper's been the odd man out all year long. I don't foresee that changing despite the week that he had last week, and I understand it's a low total, but I'm going to take the under on Austin Hooper receiving yards. And then lastly, I'm going to the big guy, Derrick Henry. Struggled the first 2 weeks, then he was a monster the rest of the way, and then last week he kind of struggled a little bit. This line is simply too high for me. You know, with sports betting, I say I'll take any double-digit underdog, anything. 10 or more, I'm taking the under. And that's kind of a philosophy I've also developed with rushing totals. If you're showing me over 100 for a rushing total, that's not even rushing plus receiving, I got to take the under. I understand Henry is fantastic, but he struggled last week on the road, Lambeau. I'm going to take the under on Derrick Henry rushing yards. He's made a lot of people live to regret saying that sentence. Let's see if he adds me to the bunch. But those are the picks that I got for you when I take on the house on this Thursday night at No House Advantage. If you don't like any of these picks, you could always go over to Stokastic, where they offer free projections and optimal lineups for contests on No House Advantage, so be sure to check those out. Also, subscribe to the channel here, and I will be back with you before Sunday, where I have the whole assortment of picks to look at, and we'll try to make a quick 20, 30, 40, 50 grand. You know how it is, just a standard week 11. So I will talk to you then. Take it easy.